Northeastern University's American Sign Language program received $4.5 million in federal funding. The U.S. Department of Education awarded a 5-year, $3 million grant to Northeastern's National Interpreter Education Center and a 5-year, $1.5 million grant to its Regional Interpreter Education Center.
We are the only 4-year interpreting program in Massachusetts. We are the 4th program in the country to be accredited as an interpreter education program, and the 1st program in the country to be unconditionally accredited.
The grants will help improve the quality of ASL English interpreters and help increase their numbers. The demand for interpreters has steadily increased over the years, causing a nationwide shortage.
The demand for interpreters has increased over time. In part because of legislation mandating that interpreters be provided in courts, in hospitals, doctors' offices, schools, universities.
We also have data that some of the present pool of interpreters will retire in the next 5 years, about 20%. So we already have a gap. If 20% retire, we can't close that gap unless we recruit more people into the field of interpreting. Well, it's a great thing if you're an interpreter. Right. It's a terrible thing if you're a deaf person because you have a right to an interpreter, but you can't get one because they may not be available.
And the rise of video relay services, a video telecommunications service that allows the deaf individual to communicate over video telephones, has also created a large demand to employ interpreters. In collaborating with the National Center, there are 5 regional centers. Gallaudet University, University of Northern Colorado, St. Catherine University, Western Oregon University, and Northeastern are in charge of serving the people in their respective region. Northeastern serves the 6 states of New England, New York, New Jersey, Puerto Rico, and the Virgin Islands.
Some of their needs are unique to this region. Puerto Rico, Spanish speaking, so we hope to develop more materials in Spanish. And then the Virgin Islands, they don't have many professional interpreters, and the needs of deaf people are even less met than they are here in the States.
The need for more interpreters date back in the early 70s, where legislation such as the Rehabilitation Act of 1973 and the Education for All Handicapped Children Act of 1975 prohibited discrimination against those with disabilities, and all schools were required to serve children with physical and mental disabilities.
Certainly there are unique challenges that deaf people face, but to me deaf people never seem like people with disabilities. They were just people who spoke a different language.
If they wanted to seek employment, it was the employer's responsibility to provide interpreters so that that person could be successful on the job. So those 2 bills, those 2 laws really opened tremendous demand for interpreters at the same time that interpreter education was evolving.
Other legislation, such as the American with Disabilities Act of 1990, along with the evolution of technology, has also helped the deaf community by creating products such as the video relay.
Now we have the evolution of video. So you can see that technology has had a tremendous impact on our lives. It's certainly made things much easier, both in our personal lives and in our jobs.
You see captioning on television, you see captioned films, you see sign language interpreters everywhere. And so there's been just an enormous change in the last 30 years in the lives of deaf people and the access that they have to everything that people who aren't deaf take for granted.
The grants will also continue deaf advocacy training, where deaf people are trained to go out into their community and teach other deaf individuals how to self-advocate for interpreting services and know about the laws.
What we did is we surveyed different states and asked them what their interpreter populations need, so that we make sure that our products and services meet the training needs of their interpreters.
Another effort to attract more people into the profession is their marketing campaign called Discover Interpreting, a website designed to show that interpreting is more than a helping profession and that men and people of color can join the program.
They're very much dominated by white females, and it would be, I think, important to see greater diversity in our program and in the interpreting community, that we have more diverse interpreters to meet the diverse needs of the deaf population.
Some students who join the program tend to have a history with the deaf community.
I blame my folks. Both my parents were deaf, and I am pretty much dedicating my life's work to them. It's really because of them I'm in this field.
I actually worked in a hospital where I encountered quite a few deaf patients. I ended up meeting my now fiance, who's also deaf.
There are about 70 students who are majoring in interpreting at Northeastern, and although it may not close the gap of meeting the demand for more interpreters, these students will nonetheless make a difference in the lives of deaf people in the future.
I'm excited to see the new Harry Potter movie.
For NUTV, I'm Young Kim.